Well, hello! Welcome back to my channel. Just Shauna here to talk about some friggin' books. The year is not technically over just yet. It is December 21st, but I don't necessarily plan on reading a whole heck of a lot more for the next week or so. So I don't anticipate having any more DNFs, but I guess I'll update you guys if I do. So these are the books that I DNF'd this year in 2019. There are 15 books that I DNF'd this year, and I think that's a couple more than I DNF'd last year. I'm pretty sure, if memory serves me. In January, there were 2 books that I DNF'd, the first one being Smokeeaters by Sean Grisby. This one is urban fantasy. I got it from the library, and yeah, it just wasn't my cup of tea. The main character was this just kind of gross, pervy, middle-aged dude, and I didn't want to be in his head, is essentially what it boiled down to. And then the second one in January was A Princess in Theory by Alyssa Cole. And I know that Alyssa Cole's books are very beloved, and I'm so happy that so many people love them. And it's adult or new adult, whatever you want to call it, contemporary romance. And the tropes, man, the tropes that are used are just not my jam. And this one had the big lie trope. And then I don't even know what it's called, if it's called anything, but that thing where a character, I mean, I guess it's part of the big lie, but where they have this big lie and they realize that they need to come clean, and they keep not coming clean, not coming clean, not coming clean. And then they're like, okay, I'm really gonna do it. I'm gonna tell them. Lily! Anyway, and then the character is like, okay, I need to tell them the truth. So they go to tell them, and then something happens. They get distracted, and now, oh, I lost my chance to tell them. No, no, no. In real life, if you have something that important to fucking tell someone and they get distracted by a bird flying by or a text message that they received, even if it's an important text message, you would you'd grab them and be like, hey, no, I need to tell you this. Please listen. You wouldn't just be like, well, I guess another 6 months or however long. I don't know. I stopped reading after that. But you know what I mean? That's just a thing that happens, a trope that happens. And I have a very just strong aversion to it. It doesn't work for me. I don't like it. Then in February, I DNF'd Black Leopard, Red Wolf by Marlon James. I don't think I need to talk about this a whole hell of a lot because I've talked about it a lot already this year. And it just was not what I thought it was. And what it actually was not my cup of tea. It was confusing. It was all over the place. It was like someone on acid trying to tell you a folk tale. And I wasn't about it. I got about 50 to 55% of the way through before I finally was just like, this feels like homework. I'm not having a good time. I'm done. In April, I DNF'd Next Year in Havana by Chanel Cleaton. This one mostly was just a situation where something happening in the plot I wasn't liking. I don't want to give spoilers for anything. I do know the spoiler. Our main character essentially was having flirtations with a married man, and we were in her head, and she was thinking about it and feeling some type of way about it, but accepting it and being okay with it. And I don't know, I couldn't get past that. I didn't want to read a whole book where I'm supposed to I'm supposed to sympathize with the main character who is knowingly being complicit in this affair type situation. And what I had read, nothing had happened necessarily, what I read up to, but it was overt flirtation and temptation, and she was leaning into it. And no, don't want to read about that. And then I tried to read A Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe by Alex White. This is sci-fi, adult, cast of characters, fun times. If I remember, I got maybe 20 to 30% of the way through, I think, if not further. And with this one, I wasn't getting gripped. I wasn't getting pulled into it. This is one that I could see myself trying to pick up again in the future. I was trying to read it on my Kindle, and I just know it's not the best way for me to read books because it is more difficult for me to focus when I'm reading an ebook. And yeah, I wasn't caring all that much about any of the characters. The plot was kind of a little too all over the place for me, I think. And yeah, I just didn't care anymore. Then I did not DNF anything until July when I DNF'd The Oyster Thief, and I did not even write the author down, but I mean, I'll put the picture up. And this one was supposed to be this fun under the sea, like mermaid story, whatever, kind of like a Little Mermaid-ish retelling, like kind of, but not really. Anyway, basically, the characters were just super annoying, kind of all of them. And with the female main character, there was just so much girl hate happening. Like there was no healthy like female relationship whatsoever, like between mom and daughter, friends, like just it was all these women were just like bitches to each other. I didn't even get that far into it, and yeah, I gave up real fast. Then in August, I tried reading a historical fiction, The Age of Desire by Jenny Fields, about Edith Wharton, and I was just bored mostly here. That's really all it boils down to. And September was The Gilded Wolves by Roshni Chokshi. YA fantasy, heisty stuff set in, I don't remember, the Gilded Age in Paris, I think, if I remember correctly. And yeah, I didn't give this one a huge chance, I will admit, but I don't know, I feel like I'm pretty good at determining when I'm gonna kind of not really like a book. And mostly when a book is gonna feel like a chore. Because I do read some books to completion and end up being like, fuck, I did not like have that good of a time reading this and I kind of fucking didn't like it. 2.5 stars or 2 stars. But it's when a book feels like a fucking chore that I DNF, you know? And that's kind of how this was feeling. And then October, I had 2 DNFs. Bridges of Madison County by Robert James Waller. It was a novella I could have pushed through and read it pretty quickly, probably. I'll just watch the fucking movie if I care about this story. I realized what it was about, and I just had no fucking interest whatsoever. It was essentially like a fling that these grown-ass, like, middle-aged people had for like a few days, and then like they pined after each other for the rest of their lives. And it sounds like it's supposed to be this big romantic thing, and no. And then the second one was I put it as a DNF / 2.5 because I read about 40 to 50% of it, like reading the book, and then I just hella skimmed the rest of it. So did I read it? But that was The Olympian Challenger by Astrid Arditi. YA, fantasy, Greek mythology elements, and I wasn't the target audience at all. It was a little young, like juvenile feeling kind of, and some problematic shit with one of the gay characters and the main character, and then in November, I DNF'd Kingdom of Souls by Rena Barron, and a fantasy, YA, African folklore involved in it, I want to say, or inspired by it anyway. Really great world building from what I read, but the plot, nothing was happening. I don't know. And a very particular pet peeve of mine is when a thing in a story or a theme of a story or something is just repeated over and over and over and over. Looking at you down among the sticks and bones. And with this one, it was the fact that the premise is this girl doesn't have magic. Everybody else in her family does. It's like a big damn deal that she doesn't have magic. And we were told so many times that she didn't have magic. I was like, I get it. A lot of people, I think, probably wouldn't even fucking notice that, but it's just one of those things that sticks out to me personally from what I did read. And then Forest of Thousand Lanterns by Julie C. Dow. I mean, all the time, my DNFs are just, I don't care. I don't care anymore, so I DNF. I did not care about these characters. I was not gripped by the story, the plot. And then my 2 DNFs for December, The Christmas Train by David Baldacci, the main character, this was a reread, but it's been a long time since I first read it. And the main character was just kind of, I don't know, I just didn't like him all that much. And I just wasn't in the mood to push through and ignore him for the fun side characters. And then Holidays on Ice by David Sedaris. Oh my God. It didn't age well, in my opinion. It was first written in, I literally just looked at it, 1997, I want to say, or 1998. And it shows, and apparently some people find this base level mocking, making fun of people, cynical about literally everything, sense of humor really funny. I don't. I don't think that bitter cynicism is hilarious usually. I don't think making fun of people for no fucking reason even, and just, like, it's not even like making fun, he just was like mocking people. And I said it when I talked about it in the wrap up. If he was mocking Nazis or something, sure, haha, funny times, great. He was mocking like developmentally disabled adults. And I'm supposed to think this is funny and using the R word a lot. And yeah, no. I read it's like a short story or personal essay collection, and I read the first one, and I just, no. And then I looked at reviews, and other people who hated the book said that the first one was a lot of people said that the first story was the only one that they found any humor in, or that they even liked a little bit. And I was like, okay, the fact that I fucking hated this first one, I'm not gonna reread. It was a reread also. But I didn't remember anything about it. I just remembered like, oh, I think that was funny, right? Whew, not anymore. If I thought it was funny the first time, I guess I don't really remember. So there we have it. Those are the 15 books that I DNF'd this year. Oh, for October, I forgot, I also DNF'd Tithe by Holly Black. Couldn't do it. Just could not at all do it. It was written a fair amount of time ago, and I might still try her more recent series that just finished up. I don't know what it's called, but The Cruel Prince and The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing. I might try that at some point, but this one, I just think it didn't really age all that well for me, so yeah. And there we have it. That is the 15 books that I DNF'd in 2019. Hopefully I will not have another one here in the next week or so. Cross my fingers. I'm planning to read Fate of the Fallen, which I have somewhere. It's over there. And potentially also Children of Virtue and Vengeance. So I hope I won't DNF either of those. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.